From the late 1940s to the very early 1970s, Quigley Stadium would be home to numerous amateur baseball leagues along with other sporting events being held there. It wasn't until 1972 when a baseball franchise called the New York Yankees decided to move their Double-A minor league affiliated team to the city of West Haven. That team was under the name the West Haven Yankees.
You had anywhere from Ron Guidry to the Bobby Cox, who went on to become Hall of Famers. Really came out of that off that team. It was just an amazing program. It was a ritual to go there on the weekends for my family, because we're a baseball family, so we would go there on a weekend. I could remember as clear as the day. No Quigley Stadium is just a shell of what it was. You had that forest green wraparound stadium, wooden stadium, where if you sat down and you moved to the right, you get a splinter.
The West Haven Yankees would call Quigley Stadium their home stadium from 1972 to 1979. A very short-lasting time there, but it would send out a very long-lasting effect that could still be felt throughout the community, especially the baseball community in West Haven to this day. Now the West Haven Yankees are fully moved in to the new town. They're used to practicing in the stadium. Here comes opening night. To a stadium with a capacity of 2,000 people, over 4,000 spectators showed up to watch the first pitch at Quigley. Overall, in the 1972 season, a total of 102,537 people would show up in attendance, with 1,465 being the average per game. The 1972 season would feature a win-loss record of 84-56, with manager Bobby Cox at the helm. Bobby Cox would just have this be one season out of a total of 35 that he would manage in his career, where he would have a 29-58, 23-86 win-loss record and would end up being a Hall of Fame manager with the Atlanta Braves. 1973 came. West Haven had a new manager come in with the new year. That manager being Doc Edwards, as just after one season, Bobby Cox was out. Despite his 20-plus game above 500 winning record of 84-56, Doc Edwards would replace him. In the 1973 season, West Haven would have a winning record in front of a total attendance of over 75,000 people, but their record diminished from the season prior as they went 72-66. 1974 featured the first losing record for the team. In fact, it's going to be the worst record for the West Haven Yankees franchise history, as they fell to a miserable 58-79. After 2 seasons, Doc Edwards was thrown out of West Haven with a 130-145 win-loss record with West Haven. Despite that, those 2 seasons would just be 2 of 34 that he would manage between minor league ball and big league ball. He had an 1877 and 1933 win-loss record. 1975 would be a year met with optimism from the West Haven Yankee fans. For the players, it was a proving year, as the likes of Buck Showalter, Dave Rocchetti, and Mike Heath played there. 1975 would be met with once again a new manager. That manager under the name Pete Ward, as this would just be one of 8 total seasons he would manage in his career, all of them being in minor leagues. 1975 featured a slightly better year for the West Haven Yankees. A 66-71 record in front of an average attendance of 388 people gave West Haven once again a losing season. Their second losing season in franchise history, and their second losing season in a row. Despite that, Ward was brought back for the 1976 season, where he would bring the West Haven Yankees to an 80-win season. An 80-59 record in front of an average attendance of 408 meant West Haven was once again back. Despite that, and Pete Ward's 146-130 record with West Haven, he would no longer be manager after the 1976 season. With Pete Ward out, that meant the manager position had to be filled once again. West Haven went to Mike Ferraro to be the 1977 manager. West Haven kept their winning ways. With an 84-54 win-loss record, they were playoff bound once again. Despite making the playoffs, Mike Ferraro would only manage the West Haven Yankees for that lone season. This would just be one of 7 seasons he would manage in his 407-319 win-loss managerial career. The New Year's Eve ball has dropped in New York. It's a new year, but for the West Haven Yankees, it's the same problem. In the same spot as last year, they are in desperate need of a new manager for the 1978 baseball season. With that, they looked and chose Stump Morrill as the next manager of the Yankees. At this point, West Haven was in a true upward trend. Back-to-back winning seasons of 80 games or more featured the home crowd coming back, with 1977 total attendance numbers being just above 41,000, averaging about 595 per game. 1978 stayed that. West Haven, down from their 86-win season just a season prior, they went 82-57 in front of a total of attendance of 46,048 spectators. With that said, Stump, well, he was not stopped by the Yankees as they gave him another year as the Yankees manager. And 1979 was a truly special season for him as the West Haven Yankees manager. Winning the Eastern League Manager of the Year in 1979, West Haven would go 83-56 in front of an average attendance of over 1,000, leading a total of attendance just above 71,000. West Haven undoubtedly has been on the map for several years, but it looked to only get better from this point on. Little would fans and players know that 1979 would be the final year that the Yankees would play with Quigley being their home stadium. At the end of 1979, West Haven looked like it could be a true dynasty in minor league baseball. As fast as it came, it went out even faster, as securing the rights to the West Haven Yankees was new owner David R. Goldstein. At this point, the West Haven Yankees were 4-time Eastern League champions. But at this point, it did not matter to Goldstein. Signing an affiliation with the Oakland Athletics, the West Haven Yankees would relocate to Lynn, Massachusetts, becoming the Lynn Sailors, as the New York Yankees Double-A team moved to being the Nashville Sounds in Nashville, Tennessee, with West Haven's franchise being the Lynn Sailors.